Hiya, Jane. Hiya, Marianne. Party for three then. Hiya, Jane. Party for four then. Yeah, it's all right. If it's quiet, it's fine. We'll just have our own little party. It's fine. I think it was last minute really as well, wasn't it? I only put it on yesterday. So, and it's not that. The weather's beautiful, isn't it? Everyone's probably sat outside enjoying the sunshine. Hiya, Julie. You all right, chick? No, you're right there, Jade. Hiya, Jackie. Hiya, Jeannie. How you feeling? You still feeling rough, Jeannie? Hiya, Amanda. Oh, we're all coming in now. If it's quiet, it's fine. It's can just have our own little arty party. Oh yeah, there's quite a lot of people at the moment getting the flu. A friend of mine had to go to the doctors today because he's full of it. Hiya, Natalie. All right, you Jane. I'll have to wish you happy birthday tomorrow. Are you doing something with your son? Just going to watch you paint better. Yeah, it is. I mean, I must admit that myself. I do like watching other people paint. Hiya, Elaine. Right, I'll just do this first because I said you all know, and I know that you all know. I'm sorry I'm not on camera. It's just that I've got a bit of a different setup in here, and it would have been a load of messing about, me putting my face on and then flipping it back. But I am going to sort that. I'm going to have to get another eye device. But that's that'll probably be in the next couple of months. Right, so I don't know, most of you know, but I got into Stampanori through my sister, Nicola Elliott, and Nicola's got Stamptagus. So Nicola had been going a couple of years before I started, and she really encouraged me. I even, just before my launch, I did a load of drawings. She took them to Create and Craft, and I think she's shown Leona and a few others. And that's how I got on Create and Craft. So really it was because of our Nicola. So she's just brought, she's had a bit of a break, Nicola, since Create and Craft went under. And she's just brought a small collection out. It was last week. She does stuff completely different to me. Just the really little tiny quirky things. If you can see them. But they are, honestly, they are, I've stamped them out. And the detail in them, we're both proper detail girls, you know. Yeah, you can't, I don't even see, because my thing's right up there, my camera. I can't see what I'm doing. Well, that looks okay. Look at them little fairies. I actually don't know how she gets that detail when they're that small. Her eyesight must be miles better than mine. So she's Stamptagus, and you can get them on stamptagus.co.uk. So I thought I'd give her a bit of a shout out. Hiya, Ali. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Nicola. And also, I just thought I'd show you this. So on the 21st of this month, I'm bringing Cotton Socks 11 out. And I've got some exciting news about Cotton Socks 11. I've had some people guesting for me. And also I've had some a lady doing some writing for me as well. But I will announce that when I'm doing the launch. But this is one of the drawings. She's on a farm. Look at her little face. Highland cow. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. My artwork's got more detailed as well, which I'm really loving. It's like evolving my pen work. Right, so let's get cracking with this. So I've used, to stamp this out, and there's a reason I've done it like this. I wanted an ink that when you add water to it, it would run. But also I wanted a permanent ink so it wouldn't completely run and the image would disappear. So I knew the VersaFine Claire is permanent. So I asked our Jane what would she recommend for one that would run with water, and she said Distress Oxide, and I got the black root, and that works brilliantly. So I'm going to show you why I've used it like this, because obviously I want to use the bleach with it as well, and the watercolour. So if you have got, I mean, it hasn't got to be the Distressed Oxide, but if you've got an ink that it will run with water, use that, and then do a double stamp with one that's permanent. So hopefully when you add the water to it, it will run a little bit, and that's what I want. So I'm just adding just pure water here. I'm just going to do it all over. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more. When I did this last time, I'm sure we did a couple of layers. Yeah. Right, I've just dipped it in the Distress Oxide and I've just added water. You're going straight over the face. Oh, you know, yesterday I went outside because I've got a little garden now where I am, and I heard this little bar. I looked up and the babies are here, they've had the babies. So there's little lambs running in the field now. And it's bizarre because Archie will bark at cats, yet he doesn't bark at the lambs. Because he's that used to him now, seeing him in his back garden. He just probably thinks they are part of us, aren't they? Don't know what's happened with that paper there. Right, so I'd probably go a little bit darker than that, but I'm not going to do for now. I want it to be dark enough so, in fact, yeah, let's go a little bit darker. I just want it to be dark enough so you can see what I'm doing with the bleach. So you can't do this with say watercolour, because watercolour won't bleach out. You can do it with Brusho, and Brusho has got a grey in it. So you could do it with Brusho, but you can't do it with watercolour. I've tried different techniques. So I'm just going to give that a quick dry. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Hiya, Doreen. I'm feeling a lot better, Natalie. The other day, Archie had me panicking at the beginning of this week. He'd gone and had his booster, you know, because he's still a puppy, but I think they have boosters, well, forever, I think. He gets kennel cough, and they get the booster for kennel cough and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I took him to the vets, he was fine, and then I took him on the field and he was running about. And then at the night, I got some chicken out of the fridge, and he loves chicken. And I put it on the floor and I said, "Yeah, Archie," and he wouldn't move out of his bed. So I thought, that's not like him. And I went over, I was stroking him. I went to pick him up and he yelped. And I thought, oh my God, what's wrong with him? So I checked all his limbs and that, and it wasn't that. And he even went into the living room and encouraged him to follow me, and he jumped on the couch. So he was fine, his limbs, you know. It was just like when I stroked him, he was whimpering a bit. And I Googled it, and they said that sometimes when puppies have their injections, it can be sore where they've had the injection. So I think it was that, you know. But to be honest, the noise he was making when I did it, I thought he broke his leg. He's making a right racket. Right, I'll show talking now because I need to concentrate on this. Right. So, the light for this image, she's lying in a meadow and the sunlight is coming from this direction. And how I achieved this was I Googled woman lying down with sunlight on her face, and I looked at different images and then chose an image that I liked how the sunlight hit the face, and that's what I used to create this effect now. So I'm going in, let me just show you here. I've got a tiny bit of bleach here, and then I'm going to add water and it's going to get more diluted as I go along. So I'm coming in here first. Oh, that's better with my glasses on. So what my rule for, I hope my head's not in there. My rule for bleach is start off with it quite diluted and then see how it starts to lift. Hiya, Veronica. You can see that lifting a bit now. It's quite difficult sometimes trying to teach. Oh, I love this technique, and I love the watercolour technique as well. But it's difficult sometimes trying to teach this actually on a live, because sometimes you can't see it very well. But I will be going in with colour in a bit, don't worry. Oh, I know, Ali, it's so random, the bleach effect, so you get a different effect every time. And I think that's why, that's why I really love it. Because it's almost like you're doing a different technique every time. Right, I'm going to put a couple of stripes on her face. I'm in Kent this weekend with the girls for the Craft Collective. We're doing a workshop down there. So I hope the weather stays lovely. Right, I'm just going to go into the flowers. Yeah, it's lifting now. Oh, I know, Jane. I can't wait to see you either. Oh, we're going to have a good time. I keep thinking, no, you'll absolutely love it when you get there. Don't think about the driving. It's like 4.5 hours away. So yeah, I'm trying to block that out of my head. Yeah, it's lifting lovely, that now. Right, I'm going to get some tiny bit of undiluted bleach. Just dotting it slightly in the lip where the highlight is. Tiny bit on the nose. I often, with my portraits, and you probably realise by now, I often put pointers in my artwork where the shade is and where the light is. So it just makes it easier when you're adding colour. I'll show you that. So once you start adding tonal to it, like light, medium and dark, then the 3D effect starts coming. You've just got the thing with the bleach, and I know a lot of you have tried the bleach. You need a tiny bit and really dilute it with water, and maybe just either print a few out. I'm just gonna get my watercolour paints ready. Either print a few out and just have a play, and then honestly, when you've been doing it a while, you'll know exactly how much water you need to bleach to achieve what you're trying to achieve. I often paint with on plates. Look, my mum used to go mad. When I lived at home, my mum used to go mad because he used to have loads of plates in my bedroom with paint on. Oh, bless her. I went round to my mum's at weekend, and I'm going to be doing a shaded rose for the workshop. I'm going to show them how they can shade to achieve a 3D rose. And I was doing it with my mum to see what she made of it. And she's so funny, my mum, you know. She's proper She's a proper monk. And she was saying, well, I don't know how they're going to do that in that time. But she did, actually, she did all right. And we get our artistic flair from my mum. My mum used to always sit with us at the table and do art. Right, so I'm going to start the background first. If you can hear anything, it's Archie downstairs crying. Because he can hear my voice. Right, I'm wetting this side. I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to work on one section, preferably if you're new to watercolour, maybe mix the colour that you want first. So I did this. So the last workshop I did this. So this is just a piece of acetate, and I got some tube watercolours and I just dotted them on, so I made a dot card, and it's lasted me absolutely ages, and the acetate's brilliant. Right, so I've got my colour there, so all I'm going to do, watch, that's wet. I'm just letting that go wherever it wants to go. Can you see? And then I'm pushing it along where I want it to go. Don't worry if it slightly goes in the flowers, because you can get a dry piece of cloth and just wipe that up and it'll come out. Start off quite light. So look, I'm just dropping it in and I'm moving it into the crevices where I want it to go. I think the thing with watercolour, I think people sometimes try and use watercolour like acrylic, and it's not the same. And the more you let the watercolour do its own thing, the better it is. So as long as it's wet, see how that's running? All I'm doing is I'm just pointing where I want that to go. You see? Then I might add a bit of colour. Again. Dropping the colour in. So every time I'm adding the pigment, I'm adding less water each time, so the pigment's getting darker. Because the thing with watercolour, you're not really supposed to use white. Water is your white. Because if you add white to it, it's not translucent anymore. You always start from light to dark with watercolour, because once it's in, you can't really bring the colour out. So I'm just dropping that in. Just wetting that slightly there, that's just water. And then bringing it down to where I want it to go. Mopping that up slightly. Section again, this section here. Jane, are you doing anything for your birthday tomorrow? I'm sorry if you have said I've missed it. Jane, is it your big birthday tomorrow? Yeah, I do as well, Natalie. But I thought, I can't just do that, it's going to look... it's going to take me no time. But no, I really love the monotone. I think as well, when you do the monotone, and especially if you do the bleach effect and you let it let it dry, and then probably the next day go into it with pencil, it looks almost like a print, like you've done a print of it. Oh, I love the way this just moves. So because this is wet now, it's spreading out, which is beautiful. You love it a lot. Oh, right, okay. Oh, you're going to Alice's. Is he doing your tea, Alice? Is he a good cook like you, Jane? for you to come here, I know. And you're going to make me some cake, aren't you, Jane? I know you are. I can tell when you sometimes post stuff on, Jane, of stuff that you made, I can tell. You know what? I can imagine you to be like a proper mumsy. My mum, there was always, you know, she was always baking. There's always a pie in the oven. She used to do a lot of baking with us as well. Every time I go to my mum, she's made a load of scones or... That's why me and our Nicola have got weight problems. I blame my mum. My mum's tiny. My mum eats more than any of us. I don't actually know where she puts it. Right, I'm going to stop messing in a minute. It's the only thing with this, isn't it? I'd still be here at midnight doing the background because I like it so much. I'm going to let that dry a minute. In fact, no, dry. I'm best drying it, aren't I? I've got my head in the way, I know I have. Sorry. You know what, honestly, I know this sounds daft, but you know when you get engrossed, you do actually forget that there's people with you. And it's difficult as well, because if you can imagine you crafting, but talking at the same time and trying to make a little bit of sense, you know, so people understand what you're going on about, sometimes it's quite difficult. Yeah, so I've added blue and green to make turquoise, and then I just keep adding the blue and the green so it runs together until I'm happy with what I've got. I mean, you could, the good thing about watercolour, it's all to do with layering, so you could literally just keep adding to that and it would get deeper and deeper. I'll show you the one, obviously the sample one that I did a bit ago, but you can see there that I've added it and it's got deeper and deeper. And some of this texture, you would add it right at the very end. You would add the sharpness at the end. Just have a drink. God, my chair's really creaky. So I'm going to just start with one flower at a time. Let me just get some of that out. Yeah, it's come out. I'm going to wet inside of that flower. Really, Doreen? But you have been making the bears and stuff, haven't you? So all I've really done there is I've just dropped some yellow whilst it's still wet, and then around the sides just make what the crafting at the moment, Doreen. Oh. You know what? It's any bleach. I've used all different bleaches. The bleach I'm using at the moment is just the thick white bleach. I've realised that the cheaper the bleach, the more it smells strong. But apart from that, there's no difference to what how it bleaches out. It's all the same. Let me just show you this a minute. So I've gone in with yellow whilst it's still wet. I mean, I'll be putting detail in this in a bit. I'm just putting the wash in now. And then I've just gone round the edges with an orange. But you could literally do that with any colour, any complementary colour. I mean, you could do it with like a little pink inside, a light pink, and then maybe red round the edges. You could do whatever colour you want. I just quite like the combination of oranges and blues for this one. So again, I'm going to wet the flower. See it there? Doreen, what are you a bit fed up with crafting at the moment? Or have you not, do you not feel like you've got your mojo to do it? Because that happens, I get that quite a lot, Doreen. It's quite delayed, this, because on this Facebook, there's probably like a minute's delay. Is there a colour I don't like to use? I'm sorry if you can see me keep itching my leg. I'm sure something's bit me on my leg today. No, not really. Oh, that's such a difficult question. I think it depends on, normally for me, when I'm creating something, as I'm creating it, certain colours come to mind. And to be fair, I have done things that I thought, oh, I'll use that, and then I really have messed up because it just doesn't go with the image or the colours don't go together. But I do try, so I do use the rule that if you want something to pop like this will be, you add contrasting colours. So it would be colours that are opposite on the colour wheel. So yellow would be opposite to blue, and that would make certain areas pop or then obviously if you're doing something that's quite realistic, you would use more tonal colours. But no, I don't. I have got a thing about, and you know what, I'm going to say this now, but I'm really not a girly girl, you know, but I've got a thing about pink, but like baby pink. I've got a story for you. So years ago, when I'd give up my tattooing business and I moved in with my mum for a bit, and I always said, one day I'm going to get a cottage with a pink door, and that was what I had in my head, that's what I was going to have. I mean, you know, I didn't think I was ever going to have it, but that was my dream. And it was so weird because when I moved here, and it was strange how I moved here. I was at my mum's and I was looking for somewhere, obviously, to rent, because my mum was in a little tiny bungalow. And I'd come off the motorway one day, and I'd come off at the wrong exit, and I was driving down the road, and there was a sign saying, "Drive like your children live here." And I thought, oh, how cute's that? And then I found out that the place was called Denshaw. And then literally probably a couple of weeks after that, I'd never heard of Denshaw. And it's only like 15-20 minutes from my mum's, and it's Saddleworth. And the house comes up, this cottage in Denshaw, and I was like, oh my God, I need to go and view it. And I viewed it. I didn't know it was actually on a sheep farm, but I mean, that sold it to me even more, to be fair. So I lived next door for some time, because there's 4 cottages together here, but next door didn't have a garden. So when I got Archie, I thought, I really do need a garden. So the people that were in here moved out, and I asked Dave, the farmer, could I have this house? And even though I've not got a pink door, it's called, this house is called Cherry Blossom Cottage. How cute is that? So yeah, I think if I stay here long enough, he might let me paint the door pink. Much to go. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's bizarre, isn't it, when people say that they lose the mojo, because when you get your mojo back and you're crafting and you're in your happy place, there's no better feeling, is there? But when it goes for a bit, it can really, really get you down. Because you're thinking, is it ever going to come back? You know, where's it gone? And yeah, even though it's a beautiful thing to have, isn't it? Us all being able to craft and go to our happy place. Sometimes when that goes for a bit, it does make you a little bit sad. But you've got to know, I mean, it always comes back, and you all know that, don't you? You know, you've all had times where you thought, oh, I don't feel like, I feel like I've lost my mojo, but you know that it comes back. Once you've got that in you, you've got that in you, haven't you? Yeah, I love teal, Natalie. Right, so I'm going to just put some highlighter in the face. I think also as well, if there's one thing I can say, is I think you've just got to be brave with colour, and you've just got to give it a go, and you've got to be able to be okay if you ruin it, because a lot of my mistakes, some amazing stuff's come from it, but you've got to be able to, yeah, to ruin it. If, you know, if that happens. I always think, you know, how precious I am about something. So obviously when I'm drawing, when I'm doing my drawings and I'm doing cotton sorts, when I've finished with the pencil and going in with pen, that's so scary, because I've literally got to be precise. And one mark could change the image completely. So obviously I've got to be careful with that. But when I'm actually doing crafting and watercolour, anything goes. And I've learned so much over the years by making mistakes. Yeah, yeah, that's a really lovely way of putting it. Something there, yeah. So what's a colour cube? Is that like is that similar to a colour wheel? I'm just gonna get drop a bit of colour in here. I'm going to wash it in with just a wash. And then I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to put like the real detail in then once it's dry. I missed that. What is a colour cube? Is it to do with? I think it's a bit delayed, this chat, so by the time I'm reading it, you're all on something else. Bring one with me on Friday. Right, okay then. They are cards with an image on. Ah! Oh, I like the idea of that. I wonder if I could incorporate something like that into my stuff. Oh, that's it now. You've got me intrigued. I'm so rubbish at keeping up with things. I literally am in a world of my own. softening that out with water. I'm going to dry this out. I'm going to just dry this and then I'm going to put the detail in. This is a lot. Oh, that sounds very interesting. What kind of colours together and it gives you. Right, yeah, like that idea. Really like that idea. Right, I'm gonna, this is dry now. I've done the wash and I'm going to go into it with the detail. So when I say I'm going into it with detail, I'm just mixing the watercolour, but I'm not adding a lot of water. So the pigment is quite strong. So for the flowers, starting on the edge, I'm just dragging it ever so slightly down towards the centre, only halfway. Oh, thanks, Doreen. You know what? I think, because there's a lot of people that say they struggle with watercolour. Watercolour is quite simple. But there is a technique to it. And how I would describe it so it's easy for you to understand is that you do your lightest colours first, so that would be your washes. So anything that's in the background, add a lot of water to it and just do your washes. Keep drying in between, and then it will get to a point where it's bone dry and you're adding detail like I'm doing now. And you're hardly adding any water to it, it's purely pigment. But the thing with watercolour is, you will notice, I'll show you now when I do this one, that I'm not doing a massive amount of painting. I'm dabbing and I'm moving that colour where I want it. Into my water, ever so slightly damp, bringing that down slightly. So I'm just bringing that water around them edges so they're not so sharp. Then into yellow. So all you're doing, let's do this one here, these here, I'll show you. So the paper's bone dry, you're going into your colour, it's mainly pigment, it's hardly any water, all you're doing is dabbing the edge of them flowers. And it can work the other way around, which looks really nice as well. If you do the inside quite dark, that's normally for like roses, that's normally for flowers that are quite closed up or quite tight. It works really well with roses, so you could do the inside at the end of the petal dark, and then as you're going up, so say if you're doing one tone, so say if you wanted to do a petal and you're doing one tone, let me show you. What have I got? Oh God, I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep scratching. So I've got this thing, right, and it's called, I can't remember what it's called. It's quite a rare skin condition. I've only had it the last 3 years, but I can literally write on myself. And when it starts getting colder at the night, I don't know it. I feel like my body's hot, but my skin's cold, and it does this. Let me show you. This is why I'm itching. But you know what? That all goes. That won't be there tomorrow. But the minute I itch myself, within 5 minutes that comes up. It's called something. So yeah, I've had it for 3 years. I'm on antihistamines and stuff, but it just doesn't seem to go. Right, that's what I was doing. I'm getting me sidetracked now. Right, so say that's a petal. Oh, I shouldn't have done it on there, should I? Right. Say that's a petal and you're in a bits here. What you do is get a medium brush, fill it with water. So you're just doing that petal alone. So you do petal by petal. That's got a wash on it now. So then you go in. With the darkest there, you can see. In the water. Slightly white. And then you're just dragging that down. But all I'm doing is, I'm not painting, I'm pulling the colour. I'm pulling the colour to where I want it. And then if you wanted that really light on the end, get a piece of tissue on your finger. Just mop that up. And that'll become really quite, really quite light. And then obviously you get on to your next one. But that's how you would do. That's how you would do petals if you wanted to go darker to lighter. But you are literally, because it has got a lot of water, watercolour uses a lot of water, you are actually moving that pigment about, so you're in control of where that pigment's going. And if you get, like, say there where I've got a bit of paint there, as quick as you can, if you want. I mean, you know, I quite like the paint running, but if you want to get rid of it, get your water on, and most of it will come off if you dab it. And then you can, if you want, make the edges. But can you see how I'm just pulling it where I want it to go? You've just got to make sure that certain areas are dry when you're doing it, because obviously that's a little bit wet and it's running into that. But really, you know what I'd do? I would just draw a few petals. Just draw a few petals and I'd have a go at just doing that technique and see what you think. Right, I'm going to start going in with a bit of detail now. I've done them. Bring a little bit in the air so it looks a bit 3D. So this is near enough pure colour, and you're just following where that air's going. And the reason I've put most of the colour on this side and most of the detail is because the light's hitting it this way. So I wanted this side to be reasonably quite light. I just think it's a nice contrast as well, and it adds a bit of interest on it. Yeah, I think, you know what, Natalie, honestly, I would give yourself a little bit of a challenge and get one of your favourite stamps that you absolutely love and you love colouring in, stamp it out a few times and do one where obviously all the tones are quite similar, and then do one where it's complete total opposite. Just Google colour wheel, have a look at your opposite colours and pick your colours. So obviously mine was blues, turquoises, and then obviously I've done the orange and the yellows, so they're completely contrasting colours. Just give yourself a challenge and just think in your head, you know what, if I ruined this, I would have definitely learnt something. And it's like with watercolour, like what I've just done there. You can be as rough as you want. Let me just show you. So, this isn't really watercolour. But say you put that down, you dab it in, you've put that down. Get a thicker brush than what you're using. Add water. Just start softening that out with water. Round the edges. Keep working round the edges until they become quite smooth. Moving, you've already got water in there now, so just move it where you want it to move. See? And there's hardly any water on now, all I'm doing is literally mopping up, and then it will literally go into nothing. See? So yeah, start with quite a pigment, quite a dark pigment, and then just keep adding water, adding water, adding water, right until the end. Mop that water up and then just drag it into nothing. That's how you would get the gradients of colour with watercolour. Right, last little bit will be tiny, tiny bit of orange. Yeah, yeah. And I think as well, to be fair, I take it for granted sometimes that obviously I've been doing watercolour a long time, like yous have been doing craft a long time. And I'm sure if I was to watch you craft and I had to go along with it, I'd find it really difficult. So I think this is quite an advanced technique as well, to be fair. And I think maybe at some point I do really need to do some basic watercolour classes, because I think people want them as well. I think, I think people would enjoy them. But yeah, it is quite an advanced technique, this. So I just have a play around, like you said, with your background. Just get used to how the watercolour works. And then when you're confident, maybe print an image out that you love, print it out a few times, just have a play with it. I'm just going to dry that out. And that's it. Oh, you know what? I really enjoyed tonight. Honestly, I don't know where the time's gone. Just ignore me. It does it every single night. This is one that I did earlier, but you can see it a bit better on this, what I've done with the bleach. So obviously your grey is what you would have started out with. And then I bleached it out with the bleach. And I've done this absolutely in my own leisure, so I can take my time with it. But let us see what you get up to, and if you're struggling with anything, let me know, and I can help you. I'm always here to help. And I'll put something together. It'll either be tonight or tomorrow morning. What technique I've used and how I get different effects, because I think that's really quite useful as well, what I've shown you. Maybe I need to do a few more of them just to show you how you can move the watercolour. Hiya, Darren. Oh, it's been, you know what, it's been absolutely lovely. I've really, really enjoyed myself. And hiya, Margaret. Sorry. It's really cheered me up as well. So thank you. Sorry, I'm going to start coughing now. Wait a minute. And I'll get myself sorted this week for the workshop, and then I'll see you all next week. I'm going to try and get a live done next week. I'm so sorry I'm starting to cough. Right, take care. Have a lovely, lovely week. Enjoy the sunshine. And I'm going to go because I'm coughing.